Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. Of course, it's Tobago Thursdays. Our next conversation is focusing on the upcoming Ancestral Walk at St. Patrick's. Joining us this morning via Zoom is the Communications Officer for the St. Patrick's Ancestral Walk Committee, Reynel Clarke, and Reverend Jean-Paul Henry from the St. Patrick's Anglican Parish. Good morning to both of you and welcome.
Good morning, Natasha. Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure to have both of you on the show with us this morning. Before we get a little bit into the deeper part of the conversation, as of course this holds great significance, Reynel, if we could just touch on the vision behind the Ancestral Walk 2025 and how the team has been working so far.
Okay, so I'll start with the team. It's an excellent team. The St. Patrick Parish is blessed to have a lot of hardworking, very focused, very organized members. So they have been working for the past few months, pulling items together for the big day, which is on Saturday. Now, the Ancestral Walk is the St. Patrick Parish's way of celebrating, commemorating, honoring the legacy of our ancestors. This year we are celebrating under the theme, building on the sweat and tears of our ancestors, a St. Patrick legacy. So we commemorate the journey that our ancestors made from Mount Irving Bay, then Little Courland Bay, to the hilltop site at Mount Pleasant to construct the St. Patrick Anglican Church. So when merchant ships would dock at Little Courland Bay, then Little Courland Bay, during the time of the plantocracy, they would come without cargo, but with fire bricks as ballast. So when the ships arrived, those same fire bricks that might ordinarily be discarded were utilized by our ancestors to construct the church. So we commemorate them and their journey by doing a reenactment at the seaside on our Ancestral Walk morning, which in this case is Saturday, 9th August at 6 a.m. We have a pirogue come in, receive the blocks, a proclamation is read. Then we all process up to Mount Pleasant to the church side to the sound of tambourine music, gospel music. It's a really lively atmosphere. We lay some wreaths at the graves of some notable ancestors, including the last named ancestor to have contributed to the construction of the church. Then a wonderful cultural program ensues as we enjoy delicious breakfast, entertainment, and education at the site of the church.
Reynel, thank you for sharing that and also giving us a bit more insight into why the starting point is at Mount Irving, such a deep spiritual significance. So Reverend, let's bring you a little bit into the conversation this morning. Again, thank you for joining us. Let's talk about balancing the fun, like some of the novelty games that are going to be taking place, and the deep reflection. How is the community able to do this? And how do you think it will positively affect the community and the understanding of history moving forward?
Yes, Natasha. Morning again. You know, I am at the parish for roughly 2 years, and I have met this rich tradition that the parish has carried on for the last 23 years. And I think so far the parish has done an excellent job in terms of that balance, involving the community in the spiritual and historical side of the church. So it embraces a lot of the traditional culture. For example, when we journey from Mount Irving to the church site at the bottom of the hill, we gather at the bottom of the hill before entering the church, and there's the tambourine band that takes us up from the hill onto the church premises. And again, we have walked through the community of Mount Irving, through the community of Mount Pleasant, and this is where we begin before we go up to the church. So the presence of the church is seen during this walk, coming through the village. We're not taking roads that don't take us through the village. We actually process through the village. So we embrace the community. On my first walk when I was here, persons came out when hearing the music and so forth to see what is happening. Some even joined in to the walk and came up to the church for the activities in the morning. So they have harnessed that very well and included the community in the celebrations of the day.
You know, Reverend, one of the critical things about community, of course, is the youth. And seeing Reynel here with us this morning shows that there is a vibrant youth community as part of the parish. Reynel, in your experience so far, how do you see this walk particularly impacting young people and contributing to their understanding of history?
So we first need to ensure that our viewers understand the context. That is Tobago. We know in our morning show it's Tobago Thursday. Tobago has a very deep appreciation and reverence for our cultural heritage. So it doesn't matter what age or stage of life you are, the Tobago Heritage Festival takes over everything for the month of July into August. So I think celebration of our ancestry, celebration of our history is already embedded in us, embedded in our daily life. As far as how it impacts the young people, how the ancestral work that is impacts the young people in our church directly, I see it as another opportunity for us to engage, for us to lead, for us to demonstrate our capacity. A lot of the time, young people feel that we're not given a chance, we're not able to prove ourselves, we're not given those opportunities to really step up. But the ancestral walk is one that assigns groups responsibility. We have most notably our adult nurturers. It's a vibrant youth group. Yes, they are adults, but we just mean over 18. They are a vibrant youth group and they are leading the dirt up and baking on site. We have a number of young people supporting the committee as well, which is customary at St. Patrick. Obviously, for the smaller children, we allow them to just play and enjoy the day, but most certainly they see the example of the older young people in the church getting involved and paving a way for them to step into similar leadership roles.
Something that we've also seen with the flyer that was just on screen for our viewers is that there's going to be a lecture that is taking place. Can you share with us what we can look forward to at that lecture, Reynel?
Sure. So we think it's important to ensure that we have not just the stories of our ancestors told through the lens of the committee, but we invite a local luminary, whether that person is an Anglican, is a practicing Anglican, a member of our parish or not. In this case, this year, Dr. Washington is not. We invite a local luminary to deliver an academic lecture that reflects on the theme, which this year, as I mentioned before, is building on the sweat and tears of our ancestors, a St. Patrick legacy. It's usually a very interesting lecture. You never know what you're going to get because a person's interpretation is entirely up to them. But the reason we utilize a luminary is because we know these people are going to delve deep into research. They are going to find some history, some facts, some nuggets that sometimes even the organizers weren't aware of. So that really adds another layer of credibility and great interest to the event.
It's beautiful to see that there are so many things that those who are coming to experience will be able to leave with and hopefully come back the following year. Reverend, one of the things you would have mentioned is when you met the parish, this was something that was taking place. And one can only imagine that you definitely have some core memories from that experience that you will carry with you for the rest of your life. What is your hope for those who are coming for the first time? What would you like them to take away from this experience?
For those first-time visitors, persons I have encouraged over the 2 years I've been here to visit, is just to come and experience it. You know, everybody will have their individual experience. For me, my first year I will have had certain experiences, and then the second year, a totally new experience. And so I encourage persons to just come and experience it. I don't try to sell it and say, well, this is a highlight. That will be a great highlight for you. But just being there, it really opens your mind. It gets you to think, compared to the history we may have covered in school, now you're actually on a historical site. You can actually view the grave of the last known slave to tote bricks and build the church. That grave is right there at the front of the church to see. So it's a deeper connection. It's no longer just a textbook, words on a page, but you can actually see and feel what is happening. So I think there's so much to experience, even the food, the interactions, as Reynel said, the lecture. Last year, the lecture had me so in awe, and where it started and where it ended up in terms of, because there's a question and answer forum after the lecture that really gives the opportunity to explore, right? So, as I said, it's not just about reading books on a page or hearing something and going away, but the interaction is there. So, even for those who are thinking outside the box, there's that opportunity to explore further and to get clarification on some of the things that may pop into your mind or that you have experienced during the day.
Thank you so much for that, Reverend. And Reynel, very briefly, we're out of time, but where can we get more information about the upcoming Ancestral Walk?
You can get more information on the Ancestral Walk on Facebook at the St. Patrick Parish Facebook page. We'll have the flyer posted. The information you need to know very quickly, however, is that we assemble at 6 a.m. at Mount Irvin Bay on Saturday morning. We'll have our registration period, then we begin with our reenactment, our proclamation, and we begin our walk. When you get up to Mount Pleasant, if you were parked at Mount Irvin, there's a shuttle that will take you back to your car, or if you want to park at the church, there's a shuttle at 5:45 that will take you down to Mount Irvin. Come, enjoy. Breakfast is only $30. We have coconut bacon, saltfish bulgjol, coconut bacon, fried fish, boiled down, dashing bush soup, cornmeal porridge, and of course, Tobago local sweets on sale. Lots to enjoy. Calypso, African dance and drumming, great music, great vibes. The St. Patrick Parish invites you to come celebrate with us at our Ancestral Walk.
Thank you so much for joining us, Reynel and Reverend. Have a blessed day and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Same to you, Natasha.
The St. Patrick's Ancestral Walk is happening. You don't want to miss it. You found a way to get all the information and enjoy some history, some spiritual growth, and some great food. That's one of the things that also stuck out to me.
When they start to list out
She had me a coconut bake.
the $30,
Yeah.
And
what
that's
that will bring you.
I was like, yes, coconut bake. Then she said oil down. I was like, wait, all right, let's go.
I said, let's start to say, whoa, yo, 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 whoa, yo, yo, yo. Come, let me go. Yeah.
Right?
We should go to Tobago.
Every single Thursday we say this.
I know,
Every
right?
single Thursday. One Thursday we'll come from Tobago when it's not Easter. Go live in Tobago.
That's a great listen, calling it into existence. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well.
Well, I'm not getting too excited about it because I'll be like,
You're a loner,
yes.
you have to stay here for news.
yeah, no, the mighty Rocky should be back.
We'll eat on your behalf, don't worry.
For sure.
You don't look too pleased about that.
Intrusive thoughts.
Well,
You know what, Trinidad and Tobago, this is Tobago Thursdays, a wonderful edition where we're learning everything beautiful that's happening. Make sure that you stay tuned because there's more coming up right after this break.